A student produced this for UND's TV show, Studio One.
More than 250,000 children enter the foster system every year in the United States. In some cities, these numbers are more than they can handle. Licensed social worker Sadie Olson is here to tell us what Grand Forks County is doing to help during this significant increase. Thanks for being on the show with us today,
Thanks.
Sadie. So can we start out with, tell me a little bit about the changes you've seen over the last year, and I mean, what's kind of causing it?
Right now in Grand Forks County, our numbers are rising rapidly. We are currently sitting at about 240 kids in care. January of 2013, we were at about 108, 110 kids in care. So it's growing rapidly.
That's a lot. I mean, what's causing this?
The top two reasons why we're seeing kids come into care, the main number one reason being substance abuse, whether it's alcohol, methamphetamine, heroin's coming back, or domestic violence as well.
So what specifically are you seeing in Grand Forks County then? I mean, is there a specific drug that's kind of popping up?
Here, you know, the top three, like I said, alcohol is the number one, methamphetamine, heroin is also making a very large comeback in our community.
That's tough. Now, you were once an addictions counselor?
I was.
How long were you an addictions counselor?
I worked as an addiction counselor for a year in Fargo, and then 3 years as residential staff here in Grand Forks.
So how has that kind of helped you with your role now over at Grand Forks County Social Services?
I think it's helped me to have some empathy, to understand the families, how they come into situations that they come into, just to be more empathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you gave us some information on the rise of foster care in Grand Forks. So, I mean, what do you do when there are more kids than there are homes? What do you do?
We are really fortunate at Grand Forks County. We have some really good relationships with other counties, other agencies, members of the community that step forward, but we are still really short on homes.
You need some. Do you know how many you need right now? Or how many you're at currently?
Right now we're sitting at 240 kids in care, and we're at about 62 homes currently to date.
Wow. And how does this compare to national trends? I mean, is this a pretty normal thing to have this increase and such a lack of homes?
I think that there's always going to be a need for homes. You know, my wish, I guess, is that we would have enough homes where they're waiting for kids to come in, but
it's tough. I mean,
yeah,
it's gotta get tough.
definitely.
And how are the kids affected by this then? I'm sure it's hard to leave home.
Absolutely. One of the things that we do for our training, because there's a training for our foster parents, we have 5 papers, and we say write down the 5 reasons why you woke up this morning. Why do you wake up every day? What keeps you living? We'll then ask that they take 1 away, and then we ask, you know, how would you function with that 1 piece missing? Then I go around and remove 3 more pieces of paper and ask, how would you function now? And a lot of people wouldn't, and that's what the children come into. They don't get to choose what they keep and what they don't.
Hard situation.
Absolutely.
So how do the kids come to the social services then?
They come through law enforcement removals. Child protection plays a piece in that. They're always there assisting law enforcement. They're assisting us. Just through the reports of child abuse and neglect. We work with the juvenile court system. They make that ultimate decision on if the child's going to be removed or not.
Now, from what I understand, foster children come with nothing, usually.
Usually.
Do you guys supply them with anything when they come in?
We love to have blankets. We like to keep our blanket supply stocked. For every child that comes in, they get a blanket. It's something that's theirs, maybe something they can find a little comfort in. You know, some little basic toiletries, and then the rest our foster families just kind of keep on hand.
That's great that you guys can give them something that feels like their own when they come with nothing.
Absolutely.
So typically, how long does a foster parent have a foster child in their home then?
It depends on the situation. Sometimes it can be something as simple as an overnight until maybe other family can come into the area. We have, you know, had some situations where it's been a few years.
Wow. And that's, I believe you told me that it was because that the courts are so backed up? Is that what kind of?
The court system here is definitely backed up with, you know, termination of parental rights and stuff like that, or just decision making in general, just with the growing number.
Yeah.
They definitely do the best they can, but with the number growing so fast, it's hard to keep up. Yeah.
So if someone watching wanted to become a foster parent, what do they have to do? What process do they go through kind of?
There's about 4 different pieces to becoming licensed. One is the paperwork piece.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a number of paperwork. There's also the background checks.
Yep.
They need to have criminal background checks, and also the child abuse and neglect. There's also where they work with me. I go out to their home, and then there's pride training.
Now, is there a number that they can call or anything to get started out?
Yep, 795-3000 is for us here locally in Grand Forks County. My direct number is 787-8537, and I do the licensing for Grand Forks County.
Fabulous. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Sadie.
Thanks.